What's good, YouTube? Hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all doing well out here, taking care of yourself and just building a better you. One thing that's been sticking with me the past couple of weeks is consistency. I noticed today a lot of people quit very easily. And one thing that I said that I would work on this year was consistency. And just being consistent in all things, whether it be fitness, diet, or anything that I want to improve or that I want to keep up with. Like, I'm going to be consistent with these things because at the end of the day, I know that being consistent will lead me to some sort of success. Like, whether it be something I fail or end up doing good at, I know that the end result will be better. It could lead me into another direction. It could lead me into better things. But I have to put in the work as far as being consistent in everything that I do. There's one thing that I learned from somebody that I used to be mentored by, and they always said how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I didn't quite believe that, to be honest, but now I'm able to kind of believe it a little bit more. The more that I live. If you think about it, how you do one thing, say you're always doing this one thing consistently, it kind of helps you in other areas in life that you want to get better at or that you want to keep up with. So keeping these things in mind, that's what I really wanted to touch on today, because consistency is going to carry me through this year, and I hope that it's able to help you as well. Now, it's important to know what the difference is between motivation and discipline, because motivation, I feel like that's just some emotion that you get. You won't always feel like doing certain things. I know from time to time, I just don't feel like working out, or I just don't feel like doing a certain thing, or waking up at a certain time to do something extra. These are like the little things. Sometimes motivation it's not going to carry you. So it's really a discipline thing. I think that the more you stay consistent, the better it will be. Like, it won't matter if you're motivated or not. That's when you get into discipline. And having that discipline, that just goes over motivation, and that keeps you consistent overall. So just being consistent in all things, knowing the difference between motivation and discipline is vital, because a lot of people, they'll say they'll watch like a video, motivational video, or they'll watch something on TikTok that really encourages them to start or to take action on a certain thing that they've been waiting to do or that they didn't know of. But say they start this thing, they're doing it for 2 to 3 weeks, they're on a good groove, they're putting everything together, but they're working off of motivation. And once you realize that motivation will fade, then that's when you start to get into discipline. And it's rough, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even when I started to say, okay, I'm gonna be consistent with these things, and I wrote those things out, I knew it wasn't gonna be easy. I know it's gonna be tough, but at the end of the day, I think the best thing to have in your mind is that the end result is going to be greater than whatever I'm thinking about right now. If I don't feel like doing it, if I just don't want to be consistent in these things, the end result is motivating me, and that's going to guide me, and it's going to give me this picture. It's going to give me this vision. So the more I see this vision and the result that I'll get, that kind of helps me overall. I mean, there's other things that help me, but that's one thing that can really help me. So it's important to just not rely on feelings, because feelings will fade. I know sometimes you'll be happy in certain moments through your life, and then sometimes you'll be sad. And that's like a depiction of motivation. Sometimes you'll be super driven to knock things out, and then boom, you just won't have motivation. It's like posting on, say, TikTok or something like that. You get a certain amount of views, and you're like, dang, like, I blew up on this video. And then you start posting other videos, and it's like, dang, my views ain't hitting the same. That's when the discipline come in. That's when the consistency come in, to actually keep posting instead of just falling into like, I was just motivated and driven because I had this one video. Nah, you just got to keep going. Like, every time you take the step to keep going, like, that is building that momentum, and that's getting you ready for your next breakthrough. And speaking of that breakthrough, that's when you get to that progress where you don't see anything yet. And this is tough too. You don't know what your end result is. You have this picture in your brain of how success looks to you, how you want things to look. It's not always going to look like that. It's really about being patient in this season, in the journey, and really focusing on your path. When you take these small daily actions, it compounds. Everything compounds. So you got to think of it as like this is all building up to something. You don't know exactly what the end result will look like. You got a vision, but you know that it's going to lead to better. So you got to think about the things that you stay consistent with and the things that you want to stay consistent with. They will compound. Like these are things that is building you into a better person or whatever it may be. Just because the growth isn't happening now and it's something that you can't see, that doesn't mean you're not growing. And I think this is the most important thing. These are the moments where you really got to dig deep and pray and just know that you're on the right path. Because, yeah, sometimes it just feel like you ain't going nowhere. You're not really doing much. You staying consistent. I know me, when I get to a point with consistency, it's like, yo, this is becoming kind of second nature, but it kind of get boring. Like I'm kind of bored of this. But I guess that could be a good thing, too. That's how I know that I'm headed in a better direction. Things are getting a little bit easier, and my routine is just coming to me naturally. So anything that you want to get better at and that you're working at, and you feel like you're not seeing any growth, but you steadily being consistent, man, like that's not overlooked. I feel like somebody out there is usually watching you. Somebody out there is appreciating that. Or somebody might be motivated from looking at your life or your situation or the things that you want to go after. So don't take that too lightly. Like, just keep going and stay at it. You don't want to be that person that quits just too soon. And when you quit too soon, it's like you don't reap the benefits of everything that was compounding. Yeah, you get some of it, but you just don't want to be that person, like just quitting too soon. I remember when I worked for a YouTuber, we were sitting at 130,000 subs on YouTube, and we were pumping out. It was a team that I was working with. We were pumping out probably like 3 videos a week. Everything felt stagnant for several weeks, almost to around like, it was probably like 2.5 months or maybe 2 months. Everything was just stagnant. We're just going week to week, pumping out 3 videos. And then we kind of formulated better ideas. We figured out, okay, what we need to know. But pumping out these 3 videos a week, that was helping us just come up with better ideas or look at other creators and kind of get insight. And that kind of inspired us to create differently. When the time came, and we just made a viral video that set everything off. Then it was like one day it jumped from 130 to 170. That's just like an example of kind of what it takes whenever you feel like you're not growing or it feels like everything is stagnant. Like, nah, those are the moments where it's really compounding. It's just, it feels like nothing, but it's really something. And to be honest, it's all a long game. Like, it's nothing that's short. So my last point is repetition leads to breakthrough. As I was talking in the beginning of the video, right now, sometimes the things that I'm consistent with, it just feels like just boring process. But I know that it's leading to something better and something greater. Repetition is going to keep you in that lane of success. That's going to separate you from the crowd. So keeping that repetition, knowing that, yeah, it's going to get boring, it's going to get tough, it's going to be dry, it's going to lead to something greater. And I think that it's important to have a strong mind, strong body, so that you can endure these seasons, because it's tough, yo. Like it's so many things that I could say, like I started and I didn't finish, or I started and I went to something else, and I just wasn't completely locked in and consistent on one thing. So take it from me and take it from my examples. So it's important to just realize that not everything has to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out in your life. Just keep pushing through and being consistent in the things that you really want out of life and that you really want to succeed in. Whatever success looks like in your eyes and how you see success, keep pushing for that and keep going after that. You gotta fight for that life that you truly want, so it's important that you just go after it. And I really appreciate the support that I've gotten on any of the videos that I've made. It's just been a blessing to continue to create, and I just hope to continue to take y'all on my journey, my life, hopefully just share more about my life. And I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.